Well, extremely recently, we took a look at the Wave 2 Siege iteration of the Rescue Patrol, consisting of 2 out of 4 members. Well, we're going to set the record straight today and look at all 4 members of the Rescue Patrol. The thing that really struck me funny about the Siege set is it doesn't even include the leader of the group. We'll talk about who he is and who all 4 of these guys are in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and me everywhere. And this is the Rescue Patrol. Stakeout and Red Hot, not Red Heat, Red Hot. The original name was Red Hot, are here again. We're going to see them compared to their updated Siege version members. We also have the other 2 members here, one of which is the actual leader of the group. So, without any further ado, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at these guys. Now, coming hot off the heels of looking at the Wave 2 Siege entry for the Rescue Patrol, I thought that I'd go back in time and look at the G1 Quartet. Yes, Quartet. There were a group of 4 in G1. Stakeout on this end, of course, that a lot of people know, and Red Hot, right up front, he is the fire engine that has been renamed Red Heat. And then in the middle we have Fixit, who I think a lot of people probably know as that quirky little orange robot from RID 2015. And Seawatch, the boat, as you might well expect. And just for fun, I'm not starting with the leader of the group this time. I'm going to do a process of elimination until we find out who it is. And we're starting off with Red Heat, or Red Hot, if you will. And we have the Siege figure compared to the original here. Granted, the white on the Siege is a little bit better, but there's also 2 painted rear tires on the Siege, or unpainted rear tires on the Siege. They're molded in there, but why they weren't painted black, I don't know. I had the same complaint with Big Shot. As you may or may not expect, this guy rolls very nicely. We do the conversion by swinging that piece up. By the way, that piece does turn. We flip down the legs, we bring out the arms, and we stand this little dude up. Let's reorient things so we can look at him better. And of course, by reposition to look at them better, I mean let's compare it to his Siege update. And you can see that the Siege one is a 10. It is definitely an homage to the original, which is a nice mix of white, blue, and almost like a pinky red, but white, blue, and red. And the next one that we can eliminate from contention as the leader of the group is, of course, Stakeout. We already knew that he wasn't the leader because we said it in the Siege review. And this is one time when I can clearly say that I like the update better. I think the car mode just looks cooler. I like the interplay of the black and white better than on the original. Not to say the original is bad, it certainly is not. While this one has undergone a little paint wear, he still rolls like a champion functionally. He's fine. To convert him, we flip up the hood just like we do with the Siege. We flip down. His joints are still fairly tight too. We flip down the legs and we bring the arms forward. And we stand him up. And again, let's get a better look at him as we compare him to the Siege version. And the Siege version is a little bit stylized with the white thighs, though I think I like it better than the blue. By the way, the articulation on the G1 version of this guy and on Red Hot is typical. They can both get in a seated position. They are, well, actually they can't both get in a seated position. Red Hot can. This guy can get in a seated position. The 2 pieces, or the piece from the knee down, is 2 separate pieces instead of 1 piece. The arms, they can go all the way around on both figures, but of course they cannot swing out to the side. So it's pretty typical for what you'd expect from Micromasters. And now for something a little less typical, a little more atypical, we have a boat. This is Seawatch. We will compare him to Nothing, because we don't have an updated version of this guy, at least not yet. A boat is something that's different. You don't see it all the time. To convert this guy, it's honestly the tooling that's used for Stakeout could be remolded for this guy because it's very similar. We bring the legs down just like we do with Stakeout, and then when we flip the hood up on Stakeout, we flip the bow of the boat up, and we bring the arms out to the side for this little dude. And man, that blue, red, and black just looks smart together. I absolutely dig it. Again, the exact same sort of articulation. We have two pieces for the lower legs from the knee down. He can get in the seated position. The arms can go around 360. It's a pretty solid little boat. And I need to apologize. The arms of Seawatch can't quite go around 360. They do get slightly cut up on the bow of the boat. I did not realize that until I kind of went back and took a look at them. And that brings us, last but not least, to this guy, who is the leader of the group, Fixit. He's a little ambulance dude. He rolls just fine like a little ambulance dude. He's not quite Ratchet though. He's not even quite first aid, is he? The paint is kind of nice on him, I dig it. And when we do the conversion, we come here and we bring down those lower legs, and we bring out his arms. Are his lower legs? Yeah, his lower legs are separate. We just angle them down, bring out his arms, and this stumpy little guy is the leader of the group. He might be the leader of the group. He's also the one that I liked less. Yes, his lower legs are two parts, but they're so chunky and thick that it's really hard to get much of a knee bend out of them. You can get some, but not as much as I'd like. They are two separate pieces, so I'll give them credit where credit is due. The arms, they could have a better range of motion. They move out, but they're definitely not going around 360 because of ambulance parts. So what about this group as a whole? It is on the good side of typical. If a typical score for these sets is about a 6 or a 7, then this is definitely a 7. All of them have a respectable range of motion. I don't feel like any of these are particularly hindered, maybe a little bit on the arms, but I love the alt modes. There's just something about the emergency vehicles, I guess. I love the color scheme. It's not exactly unified, but it feels unified, and I absolutely adore the fact that we get a completely different alt mode in terms of a boat. Do you need to update them? Probably not. Not if you have the originals. If you don't have the originals, should you get the update? Yeah, probably so, despite the imperfections. And in the meantime, let's all hope that we get a new iteration of Seawatch. And here we are once again with the Autobot's diminutive emergency vehicles. Whether on land or sea, there's nothing there for air. But, you know, I guess the air patrol can take care of that, or the jet patrol, or some of the planes. This is a pretty cool little set. I like it. It's one of the stronger sets as far as I'm concerned. I like all 4 modes. I like all 4 vehicles. The alt modes are pretty typical for the most part. I don't know. I guess I just like the emergency vehicle alt modes. I think that just really speaks to me. I don't know why, it just does. Some of these sets tend to be a little better than others. I particularly like this one better. Maybe it's because I've been spending time recently with the Siege version, and honestly, I think that these are just fine. If you already have these, I don't see any reason to really upgrade. If you don't have these, well, you know what? Let's hope that we get the other 2 members of this team somewhere later down the line. Nevertheless, it's a solid G1 Micromaster set. And there's nothing more really that can be said about it than that. Anyway, thanks for dropping by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. Again, I'm going to say please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so very much. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.